I know. Why isn't Trump or maybe Buchanan or George W. Bush in this place? Cameron. Trump was a bigot who sent for dictators, and Bush was an idiot who started the Iraq War. Well, that's true. But, Lincoln may have been tough, but he couldn't take a bullet very well, so his VP took over. Andrew Johnson let the Ku Klux Klan terrorize black people and refused to work with Congress on civil rights. If it wasn't for his B-wording, we could have had civil rights in 1865, not 1964, 90 years later. Frick this guy to the moon and back. Trump only at number 2. I just explained it to you, you maggots. Anyway, Trump sent for dictators, mostly Putin's and the one that's on screen. Even when Russia hacked the election, invaded Ukraine, treated its LGBT citizens like the Nazis treated Jews when they first got into power. History repeats itself, don't it? And even paid the Taliban to kill American troops. Trump keeps sucking his pee-pee. Trump dog whistled against Mexicans and immigrants, hurt LGBT rights, like making it legal for jobs, orphanages, homeless shelters, and doctors to discriminate against LGBT people. He let people storm the Capitol while letting protesters get beat up by police and calling the National Guard because a Target in Milwaukee burned down. He ignored the COVID-19 pandemic for 2 months and let 400,000 people die. And when he realized he lost, he said, F it, and didn't come up with a vaccine plan. He was pretty stupid, not as stupid as Bush Jr., but, Trump was worse than Bush Jr. He also said POWs were traitors. That was kind of a maggoty of him. Hate crimes against German Americans happened, and he didn't give an F word, even when people committed genocide against German dog breeds. He was the most fascist president we had, and that's saying something. He let Germany step on Uncle Sam's balls, and not in the sexy way. He even let Germany sink to Lusitania and didn't care. He campaigned in 1916 on not getting America into World War I, only getting America into World War I, not even when his first term was over. Kind of ironic, huh? He created the Sedition and the Espionage Act, which is canceled, plus the Sedition Act was made before America even got into World War I, so that's dumb. And basically, those acts were, if you said anything bad about Wilson, especially his plans on World War I, you would be put to jail. Even the Socialist Party leader, Eugene Debs, got arrested, which Warren Harding pardoned him in 1920, well, I guess 1921, when Harding became president. Kind of dictator-like, huh? Wilson would be my second worst president behind Johnson if it wasn't for income tax and prohibition, though. He created income tax and stopped prohibition, which is kind of cool. Millard Fillmore supported the 1850 Compromise, which is where if slaves were caught in the North, they would be given back to the South if they were caught. James Buchanan, he let the South secede from the Union during the election of 1860. The Confederate president was sworn into office a few days, actually only 8 days before Lincoln. Violence because you don't like the outcome of an election, kind of like the Capitol riot, huh? He didn't even get a draft to prepare Abraham Lincoln, which is a frick boy move. He mostly ignored the Great Depression, only helping with some projects like the Hoover Dam, which would have been fine if he actually helped out with workers' rights, healthcare, or anything FDR did, really. Wealth inequality wasn't even on steroids. It was on full-on crack cocaine. FDR wasn't perfect, but at least he helped the people. Basically, Hoover handled the Great Depression like Trump handled COVID. He also legalized lynching, which is where a mob of people could hang somebody, which most of the time it was racists doing it to black people. Also, during the rise of Hitler, the KKK had its quote-unquote golden age, so racism was on steroids thanks to old pal Harvard the pervert. Bags. George W. Bush, y'all. This man started the Iraq War, which is bad, okay? That's bad, okay? That's Mr. Mackey. He created the Patriot Act, which is rare. The government can spy on American citizens without a warrant, which is contrast to the Fourth Amendment. He also said stupid things, which is kind of dumb.
I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive. Our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we. I think they misestimated the will and determination of the Commander-in-Chief, too. A year ago, my approval rating was in the 30s. My nominee for the Supreme Court had just withdrawn, and my vice president had shot someone.
Van Buren, number 40, Van Buren. Although Jackson had the idea of the Trail of Tears, Van Buren forced it, thus killing all those people, and for that he deserves to be here. Franklin Pierce, he supported the Kansas-Nebraska Act, and which was basically a pro-enslavement, and he wanted Cuba to be a slave state. He did complete the Gadsden Purchase, which puts him a little higher. If it wasn't for that, then I'd probably put him like, maybe, well, I put George W. Bush.